What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Card Jawn, powered by Collects and Card Dealer Pro. We have a special little episode today, exclusive here to the Collects community. We have Jordan Spector and Brad Lidge, former Phillies great, and they're here to talk about an awesome thing they have working together. Brad, we'll be talking to you in a minute, but I'm gonna start with Jordan first, if that's cool. Jordan, tell me about why we're here today and talk about the cards behind you. This cool trading card you created with Brad, and tell us all about it.
Yeah, man. Well, as you know, I started Immortals last year, my trading card brand, and it's really been nonstop ever since. And there was no doubt in my mind that one of the projects that had to be a part of this was with Brad and commemorating this great moment in Phillies history and in Philadelphia sports history as well. And yeah, it's just been really exciting putting this one together. I personally, I say this every project, but I really think it's my best design and project yet,
Yeah,
especially because of all the small details we've added and a lot of the new features that I haven't even done before, which I'll get into. But you can see the box here, this rainbow foil texture, something we haven't done
sick.
before. And when you open it up, even the I'm not even calling it a base card anymore, but even the main prism right here is really, really cool. It really pops. So I've really been able to capture and captivate the way the design and the foil mesh together for the cards that I'm putting out. So
Love it.
this project has 14 different variations in it. There's 54 autographed cards that are right next to us today that Brad signed, and then there's another set of 98 that are going to be signed by Brad and Carlos Ruiz. And
Nice.
then most importantly, which I think is the most exciting, and I think Brad could attest to that as well, is our first ever relic card, which had these pieces of game used baseballs from the NLDS and NLCS from 2008. And I'm just grateful that Brad even contributed to the project because I think it's a
Yeah,
really, really special thing that we were able to make here. And even having the capabilities to do this, I think is really cool. And I can't wait to see who ends up getting these because, as you know, it's all randomized, the release we do. So it'll
yeah,
be a lot of fun. And I can't wait to see who lands one of these.
that's
Um,
awesome.
yeah, man.
So, Brad, tell me when Jordan approached you with this. I'm sure. I mean, I'm seeing you go to the Philly show. You're a fellow collector. It seems yourself, correct? Like, talk to us what it's been like for you on this journey of seeing this come from an idea to the card in front of you right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, I knew Jordan was a great artist, but I got to tell you, this is one of the coolest things I've seen because he kind of nailed it here, and even my family can attest to that. So to be a part of it and kind of see all the work that he's put in, kind of from the beginning of this, and kind of him laying it out, showing the illustrations, but then showing how the actual baseball card has progressed and all the different things that he's put into it to get those reflections and those hologram images and everything else. The card itself, it's kind of cool. Obviously, I've second career after baseball, I've gone into archaeology. The card itself, and when you open it up from the box, it feels like you're holding a relic. I mean, it really
Yeah.
does. Like an artifact of some sort, and frankly, we kind of made it that way with including actual pieces of the baseballs from 2008 in a lot of these cards. So it's kind of tough for me to get rid of some of that 2008 season, those baseballs. But I really did kind of think that if I was ever going to do it, this is the best way to kind of give back to the fans to let them kind of have a piece of that 2008 season they can hold. And sometimes you get these game used things or whatever. But these are from my personal collection from 2008. So these are a big deal to me, and I hope that the fans feel the same way.
Well, speaking of fans, Brad, you like I said, you go to the Philly show, you go to other shows. You've been signing probably a lot post career, I imagine. Actually, this is a question for Jordan too. Like going to these shows again. We let's get nerdy, I guess, and talk about like collectors and like collectibles and sports cards, like the three of us do. What have you learned about the hobby? Like when you go to these shows, especially the Philly show, like you know Joan Smith or some random person comes to you and you have something you've never seen before. Like, what have you learned about the hobby and sports cars and collectibles that you didn't know when you were playing?
Good question. Well, first of all, growing up collecting cards in the late 80s and early 1990s, I realized just how unvaluable a lot of baseball cards can be. But I think, beyond that, I guess I didn't realize all the little variations and little things here and there that fans will bring to me. And look, a lot of, a lot of people have tried to create their own kind of, personal thing for me to sign or whatever when I'm signing at the card shows. I always think that's cool as well. I've learned that the hobby has exploded, and honestly, it's really cool for me because I've always kind of liked. I mean, the era I grew up in is maybe not the best for collecting cards. I've always loved the really early stuff. The even pre-war stuff. That's kind of where I enjoy collecting. But I've also got a little bit more into some of these boxes nowadays. My son collecting cards himself, trying to open up these boxes and chase certain things, but as the hobbies explode, there's so many of these boxes that are, you don't get anything in it. You're like, why did I pay a couple $100 for that or whatever? And
like everything behind me.
yeah, right. But sometimes, I mean, it's fun to chase it, right? And I guess, I've learned that there's a lot of different ways to go about it. But I do think, something that's kind of exciting for me with these boxes is that you're guaranteed to get something, that's a piece of art. And then beyond that, you might be getting something that's pretty rare and it actually allows you to have a piece of 2008.
Love it. Jordan, you've been to a lot of shows. We've been going to shows together. I've seen you at shows. What have you learned since doing this? This is your you've done more than one of these Immortals projects now. Like, what have you learned about the collector that you think you didn't know before you started this whole thing?
Yeah, so obviously the canvas work and the large paintings, the murals, that's my bread and butter. But tapping into this new market has been a lot of fun and a whole new world, to be honest. And I already saw what had been going on leading up to it. Especially like I got really intrigued the past couple of years with everything Topps has done with the artists and just independent artists doing their own thing. And that was part of the inspiration for me doing this. But I think one thing I found is that it's a whole new way to appreciate my artwork in this small format. I'm still used to a large canvas like behind me, but it's really cool to be able to kind of carry around a piece of artwork because I consider it art, not just a card. So it's a small print, right? It's a small collectible, and that's been really cool for me. And I think another really fun part is that a lot of people that have bought the cards, just one card or two cards, they're buying it because they love my work, and they don't even buy cards like that. They're just buying it because they think it's awesome. So it's been a way that I found, I think, is inviting some people who previously were not into collecting cards now into that market, into the hobby.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool too. And then one more point would be that, I have some clients that collect a lot of my paintings and they run out of wall space. But something I realized is that, like, and a lot of guys have told me at like the Phillies show, like, hey man, you start putting out cards, I can collect those because they don't take up space, so it makes sense, and I have had a lot of joy in being able to offer, like I said, a canvas versus a small trading card. It's kind of fun to go back and forth.
Sure. That's awesome. Brad, you said you're signing a bunch of cards today. What's your favorite thing to sign and your least favorite thing to sign? Like, do you hate signing a chair? Do you like signing cards? Because I know some people don't like signing cards.
Yeah, and sorry, I will answer your question. This one's signed by Jordan and we threw some fun inscriptions on them as well. The thing that I probably like signing least of all is that every once in a while people will bring like a base, which is awesome, like a base from a game or whatever. But they have these like kind of quilted pads on them, and like there's no way to sign it without like your pen going in or your Sharpie going into the seams of it or whatever, the little rut. So that's never fun. And, whatever. I have a hard time signing bobbleheads too. I don't mind trying to do a micro, signature, but that never turns out that well. I pretty much will sign whatever. I've signed a lot of, obviously a ton of different things over the years. A pitching rubber from the pitching mound, that's a real nice and easy thing to sign. So, those are great. But yeah, I don't know, man, I've seen so much like kind of cool, like, do it yourself kind of like home little art project that people put cards on or whatever. It's still tough to sign jerseys if people don't pull the jersey tight, when you're signing across it. But no, I don't really have anything that I won't sign or that I really dislike, but some things are just a little bit tougher to, receive the Sharpie than others.
Yeah. If memory serves me correct, I believe Jamie Moyer has the mound from '08, right? Did he has it?
He took that sucker with him. Like he dug that sucker.
I remember. I was there that night, by the way. So thank you. Thank you for giving me a World Series as a Phillies fan. I didn't do crap, but you did all the work.
I mean,
Um,
listen, best night of my life too.
besides the ball, actually, who has the ball? Do you know who has the ball? Is the Phillies? Does the Phillies have the ball?
So that last game ball, the very last one,
Yeah.
Carlos Ruiz gave to me after the game, as I said before, as per our tradition. But we were like something about it felt wrong, so we made a kind of a joint decision to give it to Charlie Manuel. So
Oh,
we took it to Buck's office, put it on his desk, and we just said, "This belongs to you." So he's got it, and yeah, I still feel great about that decision. That's he certainly deserves it.
Brad, I asked you earlier. You said you collect with your son sports cards. What have you opened up recently, and any certain player you're chasing now, whether in the Phillies, a hot prospect elsewhere? What are you and your son into?
Yeah, I think he's been a big Mookie Betts fan for a while, so we've been looking for any kind of Mookie Betts type of stuff. Obviously, now it's all about Shohei Ohtani. I think the world, it's all about Shohei Ohtani. So, actually, one of the only, and I don't collect a ton of recent stuff, but one of the things I did get recently was like a 2013 Shohei Ohtani card from his initial season in Japan. So, but I guess for me, I'm going through and I'm looking for guys that are great players, and I'm kind of looking at the back of the stats still like I was when I was a kid. And I'm not trying to collect anything in particular as far as the new stuff goes. I don't have a ton of new stuff. It's really just goes into my son's albums, but I actually really do enjoy kind of the chase and everything else of opening up packages. I'm having a fun time like seeing all the variations and everything else that they're trying to put into boxes nowadays. You're guaranteed to get some kind of autographs. It's just a little bit tricky because you get an autograph of a really young player and you're like, this guy may not even
Yeah.
ever make it to AAA. And
Yeah.
it's just the way it is. That's baseball, that's prospects, but it's still kind of fun.
Do you still get does Top still send you stuff to sign like cards in a set? Like, do you get that a lot?
Yeah, so a couple years ago they did. A couple years ago they had like Topps buybacks. I can't remember exactly what it was, and
Yeah.
so I signed a lot of those. Both with Houston buyback cards, and then like also with the Phillies, and so they sent me out big chunks of those, and they will every couple of years send me out different things to sign, which is a lot of fun. I still enjoy it for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a few of those. I've got like the ones that are kind of have like jersey pieces and my signature or whatever. I think I have one of each of my cards from when I played, but every once in a while I'll see one that I never knew existed.
Two more questions, guys. Appreciate your time. I know this is a big media day for you guys, so I appreciate it. Brad, besides your own signature, I'm sure you've seen a lot of your, teammates sign and seen their autographs. Who do you think had the best autograph and like actually like took their time and not just scribbled like a circle or something? Like who was a teammate of yours that had a good or bad signature, you think?
Well, that's a great question. I'm thinking back to some of my former teammates. I think Jimmy Rollins always had a good signature.
He has a good one. Yeah.
Yeah. I think, boy, there's a few out there that are tough to read. I won't throw any of my teammates under the bus per se with that. I can't remember exactly, but I will tell you two guys that just general legends. Greg Maddux has the worst signature I've ever seen in my life, and Mario Rivera and Derek Jeter, both with fantastic signatures. So
Yes.
I think those guys probably don't sign nearly as much, but when they do, they actually make it pretty worthwhile. So I've definitely had a few signatures of teammates over the years where I'm like, dude, you can't do better than that. Come on, like we're teammates. Like put more than half a second into that.
I'll give mine. And sticking to the Philly theme here. I think I love AI, but he needs to improve his Allen Iverson needs to improve his auto. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say. We'll see. Appreciate. What was that?
I said I think Brad's auto is actually pretty cool. It's one of the more spelled out, clean autographs that I've seen.
Love it.
Try to take my time. Not
yeah,
always
yeah. Respect. Jordan, tell people how they can get their hands on a card and just give us the details of how fans and collectors can get one.
Yeah, for sure. So we always launch the cards on my website, spectorsportsart.com. You can go right on there, even the homepage, you're able to buy a card from there. There's 2008 total in existence from this project. So go check it out and grab them before they're gone.
All right, cool. Jordan Spector sports cards, right? Or sports art.
Spectorsportsart.com. Yep.
There you go. And Brad Lidge, thank you guys for your time. I know a busy day for you and excited to see the greatest moment in Phillies history, in my opinion, now on a sports card. And thanks for your time. And Brad, thanks for the World Series, man. I'm sure people say it to you to this day. It's probably kind of weird, right? People saying that to you, but thanks.
I never get tired of it, and I appreciate the Phillies fans as much as they appreciate that.